Nurse bullying is real, but don't you dare allow that to be the reason why you leave nursing. When I was a new grad, I was this close to leaving nursing. This close. I was just tired of feeling different. I was tired of being treated poorly, being talked down to by experienced nurses, and just pointing out and nitpicking every single thing that I did. And I was so ready to leave and go back to the military. Then one day before a shift, I sat in my car and I was super anxious because I hated going to work, right? I worked at a hospital that was just, it was a bad experience. But then I sat down and I thought to myself, why did I become a nurse? Then I remembered this. When I was 17 years old, I was sitting in the living room in my mom's house and I held my little sister. At the time, she was about 4 to 5 months old. And my mom was at the front door of our house talking to her friend. The next thing I know, I heard yelling and screaming. I had no idea what was going on. To my left, I see this woman that I recognized as my mom's friend. Let's call her Sharon. She comes around the corner yelling and screaming, and she stops maybe about 10 feet ahead of me, yelling and screaming. And she's like, no, Masari. And next thing I know, I see her husband coming around angrily. And this man is a tall, dark-skinned guy, heavy set too, right? The next thing I see, she balls herself up on the ground, right? And then he told her to get up. And then she was like, no, Masari. And then whoop, this man had on New York Timberlands. Well, I guess Timberlands aren't from New York, but they were from New York. Those big brown Timberlands on, and kicked her in her stomach. I had a visceral reaction. I just screamed. I didn't know what to do. I had my little sister in my hand. I'm holding her like this, and she had fallen asleep. I screamed so loud, she woke up and started crying. I was just in shock. This man kicked her 3 times in her abdomen. He went to go punch her, and my stepdad came in and pushed her off and said, you can't do the woman that. You can't do her so. And he started like wrestling with him. Not like fighting him, but like holding him back from continuing to. I saw my mom come around the corner and grabbed her friend, and they ran upstairs. So I ran upstairs with them. And after some time had passed, I could hear my stepdad and the guy talking loudly. You know, we're Jamaican, talking loudly. They weren't fighting, but they were, having an intense conversation. Fast forward to the end of the night, and I asked my mom, what happened? And my mom told me that her friend had left the husband and she ran away, but she ran out of money because she didn't really have a job nor a career. He found where she was, and that's one of the reasons why she left him, was because of the whooping. I then asked my mom, where was her friend, Sharon? And she's like, oh, she went back with her husband. And I said, why would she go back to him after he treats her like that? And my mom said, well, she ain't got no money and they got 3 kids and she got to feed her kids and take care of herself. And that stuck out in my brain. Like, that was a core memory for me. I never forgot that. And I always thought, okay, Donnakay, you have to always make sure that in life you are always in a financial situation where you can take care of yourself and not be dependent on anyone. Always wanted to ensure that I was always financially stable and could stand on my own. And this is why nursing was so appealing to me. Now, new grads and new nurses, your reason may be different from mine. But what I will say is that when I was 17, I knew that I was going to become a nurse and that I was always going to be able to take care of myself and my family. You cannot let the devil trick you out of your spot. If you're at a hospital and you feel that you're not being treated well and you're experiencing nurse bullying, or you're working at a hospital that is very toxic, ride it out for as long as you can until you get your experience, or start applying to different hospitals, right? And Don't allow that one place to stop you from becoming a nurse. I've been a nurse for 13 years and I absolutely love being a nurse. I have worked several specialties and now I'm in a new specialty and I am loving it. I feel like a new grad all over again. Don't allow anyone to mistreat you and to allow you not to feel like you're worthy or less than. As you grow in your nursing skills, you will develop the ability to navigate difficult situations and how to avoid them, okay? Remember your why. Are you a single mom? Are you coming from an impoverished background? Are you coming from a situation that was not so safe? Whatever the case may be, don't allow anyone to take away this wonderful opportunity that you have to not only change your life, but to change the life of your children. We need to start looking out for each other because too many of our new nurses are leaving the profession within 2 years of starting. This is unacceptable. Who's going to carry on our profession if all the new nurses are leaving, or if the really good ones are leaving because they can't put up with the toxic culture?